welcome back! My name is Sparks, and this is Gamemode 4, the series where we build command block modules which will enhance and change your vanilla game playing experience. So today we're going to be looking at a plugin I've built which creates desire lines in Minecraft. Apparently these are called desire lines. Basically, if you walk down a path over and over again, it will slowly wear into the ground and eventually leave a permanent dirt track. So this little module over here does that. It's very simple, very compact, but quite a nice effect. So if I just step down here onto the ground a second, see that while I'm standing still, obviously not really doing anything, but if I start walking, every now and again, some of the ground I'm standing on, it's fairly infrequent, will turn to dirt. And if I'm in tall grass, when that random chance happens, it breaks the grass. So, you know, normally if you're just walking through the world, those dirt patches will be filled in again. The grass around them will grow, and it'll just look like natural environment again after a time. But if I walk over some dirt and the random chance happens, it turns into coarse dirt, which won't turn back into grass. So basically, as you're walking around, if you take a route often, it'll eventually turn into a path. So over here, I've basically been walking in this triangle shape non-stop for about 20 minutes. And it's basically creates this really natural sort of feeling dirt track between the places you're going. If you're walking around a certain area a lot, then eventually it'll turn to dirt and remain like that. So it's nice because it sort of creates a really interesting feel that you're living in the environment has an effect on it, which I kind of like. So let me explain what's sort of going on here. So first of all, we have a scoreboard objective being used here, which is basically tracking my movement. I can show you that. Scoreboard objective, set display sidebar, Gamemode 4 desire line. So this is the distance I've walked. So as I walk, that number will go up, and when the random chance happens, it'll set it back to 0, and that's when it tries to place a block. So let's have a look. We've got a hopper clock down here. It's constantly going. These furnaces on top of the hopper clock reduce the lag caused by the hopper. And it's constantly powering this dropper here, and you can see there are 2 beds in here and 5 single block items. Now, every time this comparator turns on, one of those items is randomly put into the hopper up here. And once the power turns off, the item drops back down again. So you can see here, sometimes it's a bed, sometimes it's a block. If it's a bed, the signal strength is high enough to turn this comparator on. So what we have right here is a dropper with 16 quartz blocks in. And this comparator here is on subtract mode. So if you subtract the signal strength of 16 from the signal strength created by a 1 block, then you get 0. So this command block is not triggered. But if you get something like a bed, which doesn't stack and is therefore has a higher signal strength, it will override the 16 blocks in there and turn the comparator on. So every now and again, randomly, this command here is triggered, and it basically sets everybody's desire lines score to 0, which is the how far you've walked score. So you can see when the comparator turns on, I get changed back to 0. There we go. And a moment later, after it's set me to 0, it does all the dirt stuff to anyone who doesn't have a score of 0. So if in this short time you have been walking, that means that the ground underneath you could turn to dirt. So it does a couple of things. So first of all, it executes on behalf of everybody who's walked, who has dirt under them, and it replaces it with packed with coarse dirt, which is this stuff here. So it's dirt with a data value of 1. It also does the same thing with grass. So it executes on behalf of everyone who's walked, who has grass under them, and replaces it with dirt. And then finally, this one up here executes on behalf of everyone who's walked, who has tall grass at the same level as their legs, to replace it with air and destroy it. So that causes the grass to break. So vegetation will be slightly destroyed again, and that's basically it. A very simple system. Well, thank you all as always for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for all the lovely comments on the last Gamemode 4 video. As always, there is a world download in the description, so if you want to play around with the Desire Lines plugin in a new survival world, you can download that and have a bit of a play. There's also a schematic in the description, so you can download that, and the commands are there as well. Curtis Winter asked in the last episode, where are the command blocks in my map? And they're always more or less in the same place in the world downloads I provide. They're basically in a little bedrock box directly under spawn. Commands are turned on for the worlds that I provide, so you should be able to do /Gamemode3 if you want to go see them, or you can look at the schematic and download them there. If you have ideas for plugins, feel free to suggest them in the comments and I'll have a look at them. Thanks very much.